Hello. For today's cosmic key, we're going to use the number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First card, balance. The first thing that I notice with the cards is that they're a little discombobulated and kind of wanting to go all over the place, so it makes sense why balance would come out and then it kind of fumbled out of my hand and I dropped it. Focusing very much on retaining and keeping our balance despite the chaos around us. Planet of Neptune, our connection to the magic of the world. 1, 2. Ooh. Awakening flies out of the deck. 5. Congratulations. 1, 2. The mirror. Scorpio. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So the cards that just fell out of the deck, on the top, it's going to take a bit. Mars, which is the planet of action and motivation. And then Mercury right underneath that, the planet of communication and logic. So, without even needing to pull any more cards, but I just want to see, you got this right on the top after that. And on the bottom, Chiron, the wounded healer. So, okay, that just drives it home even more. We've got Awakening, Balance, Neptune, the Mirror, Scorpio, and congratulations. What is this talking about? We are in another new wave of awakening, right? We've already been talking about the major shifts that humanity and the planet are experiencing, and through that, becoming more conscious and more aware. This is reconnecting not just everyone on the planet, but the planet itself back to the energetic planes that it was once disconnected from through the pervasive and very impactful spreading of fear and hatred and division. So this congratulations is about being able to find some semblance of balance despite what's going on, like I mentioned earlier. Taking the power back and realizing that you are the one that is the main character of your story, right? And it's your life, and you're the one perceiving the life around you. So one thing we need to do when we're on our healing journey is take our focus, the light of our focus, and turn it inward on ourselves, to stare into the mirror of yourself and take the deep dive into your internal world for transformation. The congratulations is about the fact that regardless of where you are on your journey, you've obviously decided that that's what you were going to do. We wouldn't be here having this conversation if some part of you didn't have that realization, or maybe you're having it right now. So what are we going to talk about? What's this key? The key is in relationship to timing. That's why we've got the it's going to take a bit, then Mars, then Mercury. What is this about? Well, a lot of times the structures we can convince ourselves of are very much tied to structures that were built when we were much younger, things that we were taught by society, things that we were taught by those that were meant to protect us and guide us, like parent figures. So it's going to take a bit with action and also communication is Why is it that we tell ourselves these stories of something needs to take a certain amount of time, it needs to happen in a certain way, it needs to go through all of these stages, it has to, it should. Why do we tell ourselves stories about all of these things when, if you've got all the tools laid out right in front of you, which each and every one of us does, why aren't we taking action on the things that we can take action on? Why do we focus on the stuff that we don't actually have control over and attempt to control those things rather than controlling the things that are easily influenced by us? Which, what do we actually have control over in this world? Nothing outside of yourself and everything inside of yourself. So this is about communicating with yourself on how am I the reason why I feel stagnant? How am I making these decisions or perceiving things in a way that's actually limiting me, that's holding me back? What can I take action on to change in my own internal world, or about the way I perceive things, about the way I treat myself, about the way I treat others, about how I believe? Because your belief is what shapes your reality, right? And everything starts with belief. We don't only focus on belief, though. This is something that I actually channeled earlier for the daily message for the community, is that we start with belief, right? Belief is how we start to manifest. It's how we start to master lessons in relationship to what it is we're consciously manifesting. So if we focus on that, what can we control? Ourselves. What do we control first? Our perception. We hold on to that belief. This is a thing that I believe is possible. You take that possibility inside of yourself. Possibility becomes probability, and that probability transforms itself into reality, into manifestation, when we take belief and connect it to knowing. What do I mean by that? Belief is beautiful. It's where everything starts. Our mind projects itself to the future, and we see the potential, the possibility, the infinite and expansiveness of the multiverse and everything that we could possibly ever accomplish. And then when we focus on a thing that we're like, yeah, that, I really like that, that's where we take that information and we pull it back to the present moment. When we're in the present moment with that information, that's where belief comes into play. I know that I saw it, so I believe that it's real. I believe the truth of it. I believe it is possible. You take that belief inside of you, and it started with belief with a little bit of touch of knowing, because you experienced it in the mind when you went to the future and you saw it, when you experienced the feeling of it. Belief starts with feeling. We transmute that through the alchemical process of knowing, through mastering lessons. Every time you want to manifest something, you're going to be presented with all of the tools you need to get from point A to point B. And you're going to be presented with all of the lessons that are required to walk the path from where you are to where that manifestation exists. And as the manifestation is magnetized towards you, you are going towards it. What you seek is also seeking you. So through all of these trials, all of these tests, and all of these lessons, you're getting closer and closer to the manifestation. And the right before the manifestation itself is the realization of knowing. When something has become not conscious thought, but from belief to knowing. The knowing is autonomic. It's something that's just happening because you practiced it so much, you mastered it, that now you're not needing to tell yourself, do this thing. You're just doing it. It's happening. It's a thing. And one of the most beautiful things is when you start to realize that you know it. You don't just believe it. You have belief and knowing. This is a sign that you have mastered something, that you've mastered a lesson. And when you realize that you've mastered it, that's the full and totality of integration. So when you fully integrated that thing, that's when you're like, all right, what's the next thing I'm learning? And the cycle goes on and on and on. However long it takes for you to take this belief and transform it into that knowing, into that autonomic process, it takes however long it takes. So it's very, very important to make sure that you remind yourself not to force. However long it takes is however long it takes. Don't focus on the destination. One of the most beautiful aspects of anything we ever do is the journey that we get from point A to point B. Everything that happens in between, those are the most awesome parts. Don't disconnect yourself from the present, focusing on where is it, where is it, where is it, how is it going to happen, what if this, what if that. Let yourself actually experience the beauty of the journey from point A to point B, and understand that timing doesn't matter. And all of these structures of us telling ourselves it has to be this way, I have to do this, I have to do that, it should look like this, it should feel like that, let that all go. Just let it all unfold. And when you know something, when you feel the knowing, that's when you take action. We sit in the energy of the observer, not the absorber, and we allow our lives to unfold before us. And as it unfolds, when you know something, you take action. When you aren't sure, you continue to observe. And sometimes that little hesitation of not knowing is just as simple as asking yourself questions about, why do I feel like I don't know? Do I truly not know? Do I need to actually continue to observe? Or do I just need to have a conversation with myself about maybe why I feel like I can't take action? Because the word can't is another story we tell ourselves. So meditate on all of that and ask yourself some of those questions. See what you come up with. See what you notice. What do you know? What do you know in your heart as truth that maybe you haven't acknowledged yet? It's exciting. Yeah. I feel so proud of you. I hope you feel proud of you too. I love you.